dancing, no sound, no dancing today.
You almost pulled him away there.
Why has he got it in his right ear? Put it
What
in
if
his
we
left, 'cause I
kissed
can't
while
hear
attached to the same
Can't
headphone?
hear properly with it in my ear.
Ew. You guys seen that movie, The Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah.
you. It tastes like fucking wax.
Well,
Maybe
Probably
because
tastes like Chinese asbestos.
oh, they have a different one.
Chinese asbestos. They got a different flavour over there.
Yeah.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. HamBoys Pod here, and we're back with episode 2 of the HamBoys Pod and the
And I
HamBoys
shouldn't-
video.
I shouldn't sound like I'm recording from a toilet this time.
All right, HamBoys Pod. We're starting this episode with our mystery beers. So, could you please reveal yours, Owen?
I can. So, on the way back from work today, I stopped off at Dan Murphy's. And
Murphy's?
I actually haven't even read the label on this one, but I thought I'd give it a crack. It's called Send It Down Huey, Aussie Pale Lager.
Aussie Pale
Send Down
Lager.
Huey,
Fantastic.
come in spinner.
And
Looks
how's
like a
that? How's
cheap
that one?
Furphy.
How's that one taste, my friend?
Well, I haven't opened it yet, so
Well,
we can do the old...
Hurry the fuck up. Tastes like
What?
beer.
What's the verdict?
Yeah, it tastes like a beer.
Oh, what?
Beer?
A beer? Beer?
I really can't put my finger on it. I don't know if I like it very much. It's alright. It's fine.
All right. Well,
Sorry, Send It Down Huey. I give this beer a 5 out of 10. Average.
righto.
A C plus.
What a C plus. All right. What we've got for you today, and by we I mean I, have the Wolf of the Willows.
Fuck,
Oh,
that's
that looks
right.
better.
A West Coast double IPA. This is an 8.5%, 440 ml can, so I'm going to be drunk.
Man, you get the strong big boys.
I keep asking Alia to go and get me a mystery beer, and she does, and she comes back with these big old cans, so let's
She's
give that
trying
one
to get you
a,
fucked up, dude.
Oh,
Sounds good.
in play the
Best sound in the world.
how to basic when he opens up all the different cans and puts them in the thing, and then he opens the invisible one and tips the glass of water in or some shit.
Cracks the egg.
Yeah, cracks the egg. So good.
Amazing.
Alright, so let's give us. Oh, BK has one too because we got 3 of them.
Well, my mystery beer tonight is Wolf of the Willows.
Oh.
Steep and Deep.
The steep and deep.
It's from It's a West Coast double IPA. Okay, 440
That's
ml
2
can.
more IPAs
And,
than one.
It's
no joke.
8.5% alcohol volume. And
Volume.
Dude, I'm not even kidding.
Volume.
Crack that. Crack that and have a sniff before you take a sip. Just sniff it. What's it smell like?
yeast.
Passion fruit. Yeah,
Yeast.
fucking straight up
Yeast.
yeast. Just smells like yeast. Just not even mixed with milk, just yeast.
Definitely not nose beers.
No, don't put it there, please. Save that for drugs.
It's not bad.
Wow, that's
It smells better than it tastes. It smells like
That's
passion
not
fruit.
something you get a lot from beers.
It smells like passion
Usually
fruit and
they
smells
taste
like,
a lot better than they smell.
I'm not
smells
gonna
like
lie.
passion fruit
That
and pineapple.
that's needs more hops. It's
Smoking hops.
We're smoking hops. Can't fucking smoke hops.
Hey Xander, come smoke this beer.
Ugh. Not bad. Not great. I'm gonna give it a
Like
5 out of 10 as well.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 7.
full marks.
5 out of 7.
5
full
out
marks.
of 7 full marks.
I'm gonna go to a
Well.
proper beer, which is the Stone and Wood. This comes
So you're just
from.
gonna leave? You're gonna leave that other one cracked, just sitting there?
I actually don't think I could drink it.
I'll drink it.
Yikes!
I'll have me 17% alcohol for the night. Sorry, Owen, what album are we reviewing tonight?
have we properly introduced BK?
Oh, no. Take it away.
Take it
Well,
away,
should we introduce
boys.
ourselves?
No.
What if this is the first time someone's listened to this episode, our podcast?
Who's listening?
Just us so far.
Yeah, I haven't even released anything yet. I'm Owen.
I'm Paul.
I'm also Brandon.
So BK, Brandon, is our guest tonight.
He's known as
And
BK
I reckon
because
he's
his
BK.
initials are B and an F.
Brandon and K.
Brandon and K.
It's a silent F. You'll probably be on every now and then, won't you?
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
jump on the odd occasion.
BK will try and be on as much as he can because he's an attention seeker.
You'll fit right in.
Kidding.
You're already in the last episode.
Yeah.
Just sitting in your car, screaming. I kind of wanted you to play some music. I had to put music in the background, so you're just sitting in your car going. "Ugh." It's
Yeah,
If
but
you
when
got-
I do it with the audio playing, it drowns everything out. You can't hear anything.
Yeah.
All right. So for everyone who tuned into episode 1, we spoke about old band that we had and a couple of jokes. Brandon here, or BK, whatever you want to call him. He also goes by Brandon.
Beef.
And Beef Cheeks. It was our
Beef
vocalist, so
Cakes.
he knows how to do some
Beef.
screamies and some yellies.
BK and I both did a vocal lesson with CJ.
Yeah.
So
CJ
and
Mc-
because we're going to
Mac
review
Daddy.
a Thy Art album
Mm,
tonight, I think
Thy Art
we'll have
is-
a couple of stories. I'm sure.
Thy art is CJ.
Yeah.
Thou must saith.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
So do we want to start straight off? Let's go.
just start straight off. Hang on, let me find my notes.
I love it when you say you've got to go get your notes. You know how much I love that.
Shut up,
Literally on
nerd.
the first page.
Literally the first. Flipping through this book like you got like a Bible of notes.
Dude,
It's the
this
first
book has
page.
been used for so much. It's got like most of my business criteria in here for everything that I do.
Yep. So tonight we're reviewing an album by a band called Thy Art Is Murder, an Australian band. They were formed in 2006 in Blacktown, Sydney, New South Wales, and they play deathcore, just good old fashioned deathcore.
I actually believe it's death metal, believe it or not. They don't
What
like
makes you
being
think-
called a deathcore band. They believe they are a death metal band. Hence for the change in the style of their music that they've been playing.
Did change a bit,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's gone to
Surely,
a more metal vibe than what it has to a more sort of
Deathcore vibe.
deathcore vibe, sort of from
yeah, I'd buy that. Yeah,
like Adversary or Hate or
That's
What's
their old
the-
albums.
yeah. What was the that first
Infinite
album?
Death.
Yeah, Infinite
Yeah.
Death with the
That was
old
where I got
vocals.
into them.
That
Infinite
was
Death.
that was like pretty much just straight up deathcore.
yeah, that's quintessential
it's-
deathcore. That's
yeah.
Eve Alliance level deathcore.
That is
Yeah.
Eve Alliance level deathcore. Brutal and nasty and a bit of hate against...
Whammon.
Well, I'm going to discuss a little bit of that. So,
that comes to their next album after The Adversary, called Hate. Funny that, it all comes full
Wow.
circle.
so yeah. So, well, okay then. Yeah, I didn't know that. So apparently they're not considered deathcore anymore. I would still call this album a deathcore album to
Holy
a degree.
So we're reviewing Holy War. I don't think we've said that yet.
Yeah.
Holy War by Thy Art Is Murder. What year did it come out on?
Came out in 2015, 26th of June, 2015.
Holy moly.
Oh, that's in 3 days. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
and
we should have done
6
it as a
years.
reunion.
I'd just like to show
Oh, yeah,
everybody my
I'll just release it
picture of drawing
that
a
day.
cat. Just
Yep. Oh, that's a nice cat. I like its whiskers
thank
on
you.
down the bottom there.
Meow.
If you want to see
Meow,
BK's drawing of the cat, you're going to have to watch us on YouTube. So find us on YouTube,
And
HamBoys
if
Podcast.
if you want us to send you any loyal fans out there that we don't have yet, the picture of BK's cat, we'll send it. Just hit us up at
Literally,
hamboyspod@gmail.com.
first person to message us gets the cat picture.
Gets the picture of a cat, and he'll sign it too.
Zyart, I just want to quickly give some history. The current members, CJ McMahon on the vocals, Sean Delander, and Andy Marsh on guitar, Kevin Butler on bass, and Jesse Beeler on drums. They've had
to young Lee on the drums.
Yeah,
before
Lee's-
him.
yes.
Yeah.
So they've had some serious lineup changes, especially recently. So there used to be Gary Markowski and Tom Brown on guitar and Mick Lowe on bass. But yeah, their biggest change was probably they're losing Lee Stanton on drums. I mean, if
However-
anyone's ever been to a Die Art gig, Lee is like, man, that little man can drum.
Yeah,
He can drum
he
very
stuck
well.
out like a diamond in the rough, that's for sure.
he was
However,
amazing.
they did have that period of time
Where
about
left
3 or
it.
4 years ago where CJ was out of the band
Yeah,
because he went bankrupt.
and yeah, he was like making no money, and then he went and
Yeah.
he was a tradie. It was like, what was he doing?
He was a
Sydney?
stonemason.
Yeah, and like that's got to be a hard thing to walk away from because he's, especially now he's back into it, and I hope it's will get working for him better. Nice chippies.
100%.
But anyway,
He seems to be
yeah,
doing all right with it now. So
it was an interesting time. I saw them here in Warrnambool at the Loft, which is no longer a venue anymore. It's closed down. And it was the current lineup, except it had Lee on drums. And
that's right. Fun fact: the Loft closed down because they didn't like the music.
yeah, they were like, "Oh, we don't really vibe music. We better tear down this stage, and while
Just
we're at
the
it, we'll
only
tear down the
people
whole
that
bar."
Don't like music owned that
ever,
fucking venue.
ever.
Anyway, so this was when CJ wasn't in the band, and Lachlan Watt, who hosts the Triple J, the Racket, the metal show on
Yep.
Tuesday nights. Yeah, he was the fill-in. He was pretty good. He did a
Yeah.
cracking job, actually. They played a couple of songs off Infinite Death as well. I'll never see them again, so that was cool.
Ever.
And then why don't you tell us a story about when you guys met CJ at Unify and when on his great comeback night?
Oh, that was brilliant.
That was
actually.
brilliant. Hey? Yeah, we met a couple of pretty classics that night. We met Nick Peterson, the drummer of North Lane, who we reviewed in the last episode. We also met
Slats
from King Carrot, the vocalist. Not vocalist.
Talk tight with
him.
him.
He's the
I want you to
bass
talk
bass player,
tight.
sorry. Hey,
I want you to talk tight. He's from Warrnambool, actually. Slats.
Slats is.
Yeah.
Why don't you hop in a bed there, son, and we'll have a cheeky bonox.
Had a pretty nice day.
We've also met... Oh, very nice, very nice. We also met the drummer from Boris the Blade. Forgive us for not remembering his name on the spot, but he
Ben
was
Sharpie.
an absolute legend. He sat with us and we had beers for about an hour, I reckon.
I reckon it was probably
And
longer.
we were
man.
just
I reckon
chatting
it was
about
probably a
music and everything. And
couple
we
of
were,
hours.
I think at that point in time we didn't really know who Boris the Blade was, and we were like, "Oh yeah, this dude's so cool." We were chatting with him, and then we went and seen them. And he's a machine. He's
Yeah,
actually
he's
a
an
machine.
absolute
His double
machine.
kick work was so fast and so solid. Absolute legend. We also met Sharpie.
Sharpie, the vocalist of Boris the Blade.
Yeah, Sharpie. the
He's a
Blade.
legend. He saw my
Very
cool
good
shirts.
dude.
You know
Fanta-
coolshirts.com. I
Yeah.
had the death tee. Shout out to coolshirts.com. I had the death tee and the Nike symbol, and he saw it
Yeah.
at Bang. Like, it was a night that Boris the Blade played at Bang, and he pointed at it. He's like, fucking yeah! Like, he loved it.
That's
He's just
awesome.
such a good,
Yeah,
genuine,
good vibe.
down-to-earth bloke.
It's a good vibe in the metal community, I must say. Most people are pretty good. So Sharpie, he was an absolute legend. He's a tattoo artist. If anybody wants some crazy tattoo work, hit him up. His work is insane. He definitely deserves all the attention he can get. And we met CJ.
Yeah.
And that was a ripper. CJ is a big dude.
Yeah.
And a really
Physically, and in
down to
reputation.
earth dude.
Super down to earth for being a...
Funny thing about
yeah,
meeting
metal
CJ was he actually came up to us while we were standing at a barrel and started talking to us first before we'd even sort of introduced ourselves to him. Yeah,
yeah.
that's how it
Lad.
started. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I would have.
yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I assumed you guys would have been like, "Hey, CJ,
Bit of
what's
fangirling.
going on?"
The
Yeah.
only,
We
the
probably
only-
gave him the eyes.
the only two
and he
people...
probably came
yeah.
over that way, but
Yeah, the only two people there that we actually spoke to initially ourselves was Nick Peterson I called out, "Hey Nick," and I said, "Love your drumming, like great work. What's happening with Glass Ocean?" At that point is what I said, and he told me it was out of Glass Ocean.
I didn't know he was in Glass Ocean.
Yeah, he was the original drummer for them. Actually, if you look at Light of the Moon,
Of course he was though.
yeah, if you look at Light of the Moon, the video
Adrian.
clip, they have
Adrian's
a lot
in.
of Northland's lineup in the video clip because they were friends or something like that. So I asked him that,
That's
and he
cool.
wasn't there. And Slats, and he said, "Is that Slats?" And then he was sort of walking past and we're like, "Hey Slats!" And then he came up, he's like, "Hey guys, what's happening?" And we're like, "What up, man?" And that was pretty cool. But the rest of them came to us, which was quite surprising.
Funny thing with Slats is he believes that if you blink in a photo, or like you have to close your eyes in a photo, or else it steals your soul.
Either way, let's get to the album and the review because that's
Yes.
what we're here for, and that's what the people listening, all of my mum and
Your mum's gonna listen to the album review of Holy.
no, she won't
War.
listen to this. She won't listen to this. However, that's all. Let's go.
Song 1.
Absolute
Absolute
genocide.
genocide.
Yeah, great song.
All right. Oh, dude. It's... Even the way it starts, like, it's just such a... The dissonance of the guitar, and then it builds up into the, with the boom, 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 boom,
Yeah. Good slow build. Good
and
build in. I've got ominous start that I wrote here for it. Like it is
Ominous is
super ominous. The word is perfect for
is
it.
an apt word, yeah.
Ominous start. It's just like
Yeah, it
really,
kind of
really
has
pull
like,
in.
yeah, like Reign of Darkness kind of feels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
which is
up.
fitting.
which is fitting. It was the last album before it. But was it Hate or was it Holy War where they were like, no, CJ, do your vocals the way you want to do them. It was Holy War, wasn't it?
It was
Hate.
Hate.
It was Hate.
Oh, it was Hate. My bad.
Hate.
Because
Yeah,
he was
'cause he
in
started,
The Adversary, and
Just gave it
It
classic
was-
deathcore or just normal vocals.
Deathcore at that point. So
perfect chance to talk about one of the things he said to us, BK. It was literally that. He's just like... Because I think someone asked him, like one of the people in the group asked him, like, "Oh, you ever going to play anything from The Adversary or whatever?" And he's just like, he's just like, "I fucking hate that album. Like, I didn't get to perform." He just did like lows, but they weren't really like good ones. It was just like really cliched like death metal
like
lows.
proper
and,
classic lows and classic highs.
and I'm not like a biggest fan of that album either. I haven't given it as much of a shot as the other albums, to
Yeah,
be
neither
fair.
have
But
I.
like,
I don't mind The Adversary. I listen to it a fair bit, but
yeah,
music-wise,
it's okay.
it's
But
good.
it pales in comparison to these. But yeah. Sorry, go on, Paul. Talk about absolute genocide.
That's all right. So starts off super ominous start. You got that mad, hard-hitting sort of drop after the ominous start and build-up ends, and it's a great way to start up an album, first song on an album. He sort of shows off a lot of his vocals through it as well, CJ does, which is really nice to see. Like right off the bat, he's got sort of like a bit of a range going on, so really appreciated all of that, and it makes for a really great song. But I have to say, I reckon that little mini bridge after, I think it's like the second chorus sort of part of the song, where he goes dun 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 dun, like sort of like that chunky like
The
Yeah.
human scum
Yeah.
rotting in shit,
Yeah.
which is one of the most metal lines you could come up with.
yeah. So I fucking love that bit.
So good.
It's just like
Yeah,
it's
fucking-
like 2 bars. It's not even. It's like 1.5 bars because he fills out the rest of the bar. Lee does when he played it on drums. He like does this mad fill for the second half, like second half of the second bar. So it's like 1.5 bars of this crazy little like transition to the next part of the song, and it's just the best part of the whole song, in my opinion. In my opinion, music is subjective. Shut the fuck up. And then some thick boy bass drops. So yeah, all the breakdowns have got
man.
some
And some
great.
serious like lows.
Yeah, some
like
serious
vocal
lows in
lows.
it. So I've given Absolute Genocide an 8 out of 10. Really great way to start an album. An 8 out of 10, I think. So,
Yep.
And I really like the meaning of the song, believe it or not. You actually
I
look
believe
through
it.
the lyrics. The lyrics are sort of about how, I guess, which is a common theme throughout a lot of Thy Art songs, is where the human race is more of a parasite
Yep.
on
They're more
Earth, and like, talking about how, I guess, which is a common theme throughout a lot of Thy Art songs, is where the human race is more of a parasite on Earth, and like,
parasites.
how we're just infecting the earth and destroying it, and then we're going
It's
to
no longer a
at some point,
symbiosis.
move off and I guess travel through space. I guess is kind of
Yeah,
through it.
Is the lyric in this song "You were only here because we can't seem to leave"?
No, that's Naked and Cold.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess,
so-
like you said, it's a similar theme throughout the whole album.
Yeah, so it's at one point just before the really heavy breakdown, they talk about hurling towards a black hole, twisted by the gravity, weathered by the sun, shattered by depravity, civilized disaster, polluted by the ignorant, human scum rotting in shit. Basically, I
So
kind of
good.
I
Hectic.
see it as I guess the
Brutal
human
and
race
interesting way.
destroying the earth and then moving off to another planet to
Yeah.
destroy.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we are a parasite, aren't we?
Well,
More,
it's
more of
sort
a
of like a
cancer.
common theme in like, something that's just taking and not giving anything back. Really, it's not. It's like I just said, it's not a symbiosis anymore.
Yeah,
Whether it can or can't be, that's just a whole other thing. But like, yeah, I guess it's a common theme in a lot of like dystopian fiction
Yeah,
that, especially like sci-fi, that we just abandon Earth because it's rooted. We fucked
that's
it,
right. That's right. We did.
and I think that comes from a lot of truth.
BK, you got to give it a score out of 10.
I would
Just
give this
for
song
what it is.
probably an. Oh,
You want to give it high, but you got to be critical of it.
an 8.5
Oh
nine.
no,
to 9.
this is the first half.
This is the
Yeah,
first
just give it a
half.
9
I'll just give it a
because
9.
I was trying to avoid halves.
I'll give it a 9, just because it's probably one of my favourite songs off the album. It's one of the songs that I learnt to do false chord vocals to, mainly
Oh, yeah.
because I couldn't understand how he would do such low vocals, and then if you listen through the breakdown when he says human scum and he holds scum, when you're doing a false chord, you can hear it still rattling even though his mouth is closed. I couldn't understand how he did that, because
Back of the throat, baby.
when you do a fry scream, as soon as you close your mouth, it cuts the resonance off, or like the raspiness. False chord,
Give us a small demo.
No, I'm not giving.
Just
any
give us a
demos.
little
Not right
false.
now. Not right now.
Just say human scum.
Or you just get a couple more of a couple of Stoner Woods in him, and we'll get him to do
And then I'll be able to tickle him.
a demo. Yeah, we'll tickle these vocal cords.
There we are.
All right, Owen, you're up.
I would give it. I think it maybe a 7 out of 10. I don't dislike it or anything. I just don't hold it as a high regard for most of the rest of the album.
You fucking would.
Just you wait, mate. I don't think 7 out of 10 is a bad rating either.
I don't.
I-
It's just not
It's
as
just-
good as
it's-
mine.
It's a good album.
It's just what somebody who
good
doesn't
start.
appreciate music would say.
Yeah, sounds like something that someone would say who doesn't appreciate the subjectivity of music.
Music is subjective. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So, because music is subjective, shut the fuck up. 7 out of 10.
Fair enough, man.
That's my reason. I like it though. It's such a good song.
Yeah. Anything else you want
Um,
to talk about it?
Nah, it's just a filthy start to a filthy album, and I'm all about it.
Only a 7 out of it, but whatever.
I will say it's actually a very basic, quite a basic song, like the structure of it.
Yeah.
I guess they're coming off of the album Hate beforehand.
Yeah.
It's very interesting when a band is coming up with a new album and they release singles before that, because when they released the song Holy War, it was a single before they released Absolute Genocide and the rest of the album. And that for me sort of makes Absolute Genocide a great start to an album, but not the first song of that album. I think Holy War is the first song of that album. That's because that's the way it works in my
Yeah.
brain, if that makes sense. That's the one I think of when I think of, obviously it's self-titled as well, Holy War, but when I think of this album, I think of the song Holy War and then the rest of the album in that sort of succession.
That makes sense.
So I think it's only basic, at least in my brain, it's only basic because we've got the idea of the other songs or those singles that they released in the middle of the album first.
Yeah.
or to compare it to, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. No, I get you what you mean. Song 2,
Song number 2.
Light
Light
Bearer.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I actually, I mean, I want to preface everything I say with there's not a song on this album I don't like. But Lightbearer, I always sort of just went, oh yeah, whatever, for a while. But BK, you actually, I think it's a cool song for sure. But I was just sort of like, oh yeah, cool. But then you were talking about the lyrics, especially that part where it leads out. You know, like man is one with the fire at the center of the earth. Lucifer, bring us rebirth.
Man, I'm getting goosebumps
Like,
thinking about that.
me too.
Because
Yeah, me too.
the whole part from sort of, I guess, the end, just before the end of the song, it's so sort of, I guess, biblical. But the poetry within the lyrics is, well, like it's very poetic, and builds a really big sort of image in your head, because the lyrics are so descriptive.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I liked a lot about Hate. Like Hate,
Yeah.
most of the album's not really about much, but fuck me if it isn't poetic. Like
Yeah.
it's just wonderfully pieced together lyrics that just complement the songs perfectly. So, and this is I find very similar. Maybe that's why I have such an affinity for the final act of this song.
You know what a
Yeah.
good part about Lightbearer is as well is that he's although his screams are CJ's classic heavy, high and low, mainly low in this album screams, but he's really easy to hear. You can pretty much put together what he's saying by listening to it because
Yeah.
it's quite wide, quite spacey.
Yeah, and very
each word.
pronounced.
It's just
Yeah.
like very pronounced, very specific points because of the pacing of the song. Great.
Yeah.
So, Owen, you started with this. What do you give it out of 10?
Well, back in the day, I might have given this maybe a 7. On a bad day, a 6. Nowadays, this is an 8 for me. After having, because I get goosebumps every time with the same as you, Vigo, like with those fine.
For sure.
The rest of the song is really, really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's that last bit that really, and I think it's the perfect climax for the song to polish it off with, which sounds a little bit sus, but like the lyrics are just
Yeah.
they're poetic, and biblically poetic, which is
Which is
for better or
super
worse.
powerful.
It's so powerful, man. Yeah, I love it. So 8 out of 10 for me.
A big hit, which is cool.
I'm actually going to give it a 10. This is
Far out.
Here
I don't think we even gave anything off the last album a 10.
No.
Wow.
This has been one of my favorite songs for such a long time. Probably since I discovered it throughout the album, because it was one of those songs at the start where I just kind of skipped through, but every time I'd go, what the hell, what song was that? And I keep forgetting what song it was, to the point where I end up writing it down because something would just catch me and go, what the hell, that was so heavy, that was so climatic. And I just kept going back to it and back to it. I reckon I listened to the song on repeat for, it would have been maybe a month. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
I listened to it that much. I can recite it just about lyric for lyric. And quite often when I'm walking around at work or something like that, or just doing something monotonous, the lyrics will pop into my head, and I can literally vision the song in my head. And maybe I think it's because it's got such a religious sort of
Well, it's like you said, it's biblical.
yeah, it's like a very religious sort of biblical, I guess more antichrist, if anything, kind of edgy song. And I just find that kind of antichrist edginess kind of resonates with me a little bit.
Yeah, BK's a bit of an edge.
because I hate religion so much. Not the fact
Yeah,
that
man,
I hate
I-
religion, I just hate what it became.
Well, I think there's a powerful division between what religion should be and organized religion. And people can believe whatever they want to believe, and I'm going to believe what I want to believe. To hear stuff like that, it's sometimes like a little bit of a... How do I describe it? It's like a...
A fresh of breath air.
Yeah, it's a fresh of breath air. It's like, you know... I'm tolerant to people's beliefs. I'm like, whatever, man, that's your cup of tea, and it's not mine, so that's cool. But sometimes when I hear someone's... Like, man, what are those? One of those lyrics in Hate, where he's like... strike fear into the hearts of the children of God.
Yeah.
Show them the hell that burns below.
Just quickly,
like-
you know what I like about that fucking sentence right there? Is the way he sings it. It's strike fear into the hearts of the children. And then it's like a whole nother piece where he goes, of God. You know what I mean? So it's just like, strike fear into the hearts of the children of God. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this strike fear into the hearts of the children. Holy shit, that's terrible. Of God. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Like,
it gives you like another open for it. So good.
Burn their symbols of hope.
I
Let
give-
their faith rest in ash.
That's-
So but what I'm saying is,
Such a
it's
brutal
edgy
line.
as fuck.
Yeah,
But sometimes
edgy
it's
as-
just like it's a fresher breath air.
But
You're just like,
but death metal is
damn, that
edgy. Like,
sounds
truth
cool.
is, death metal is edgy. It's
it's
what it
pretty
is.
fucking edgy.
It's edgy as. Now,
Wouldn't
I've
go that
got fuck thick breakdown here. I'm pretty sure I was meant to have more letters in the first word. One of the best breakdowns in the album. I give it an 8 out of 10. So I agree with you boys, except for BK. He gives it a bit of high score, but whatever. That's all right. It's his prerogative. It's a good song. It is a good song.
Just remember, you guys are entitled
So
to
good.
your opinion. Just know that you're wrong.
We already used that joke last episode.
Doesn't matter.
And it's probably...
That's fair enough.
It works.
All right. Song number
Nombre trois.
tres. Tres.
Tres.
Next
Tres.
should be Holy War.
Moltres.
That is Holy War. The titular song on the album.
Might I
This-
say, this is
this-
probably one of my favourite albums, and I've listened to it sort of relentlessly over the last few years.
Young Josh Payne's one of his favourite albums
Yeah.
too.
It's an album that I always go back to. I probably listen to this album almost every day.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you reckon
almost every
maybe
day.
on average, because you probably listen to it multiple times in multiple, like within a day, so every day you don't listen to it, the average is still balanced.
What?
Shut up, science boy.
Your quick math is shit math. All right, Holy War.
Holy War.
Let me start this one, all right?
Yeah.
I've got written here, great flow of a song. Holy War is such a good progression. It flows through really well from start to end. It's got a great meaning behind it. If you call that edgy stuff a great meaning, I think for what it is, it's good. I like obviously the lyrics, die for Christ, die for Torah, die for Jerusalem, die for Allah, die for Jerusalem, die for
Allah,
Torah.
yeah.
Obviously it's pretty anti-Christ, anti-religion in general, and I think that's a good.
This is arguably one of their most like anti-religion. I mean,
Yeah.
they got a lot of anti-religion lyrics, but this is about as anti-religion.
Well, I
as
mean,
it
the
gets.
whole album is anti-religion. It's called Holy
For
War.
sure, for sure.
So, and this is self-titled. So, however, I think the song is carried by its lyrics. Out of all the songs on the album, I think the lyrics are more powerful for me than the music. I think the music is good, but it's a little bit more boring in comparison to how in-depth the lyrics go.
Yeah.
The lyrics are got some good meaning, and the music is sort of like just drowned out a little bit by what he's talking about instead of what the music sounds like. So I've given this song a 7 out of 10, which is probably a pretty good score, but a little bit controversial. I was considering a 6, but I gave it a 7 because it is still a good song nonetheless. And a lot of good songs are carried by their lyrics. So what do you do?
Well, it's interesting you say that the music is because I mean I for the most part I agree. Yeah, for the majority of the song, it's the musical my musical affinity to it is lower, I guess, like than songs like Lightbearer and Fur and Claw and stuff like that. Except for one bit, which is the breakdown where he's like, we will all die for nothing, and there's that, you know, like what's the lyric? There is silence in the house of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just like a thick breakdown.
Because I agree, because the rest of this, yeah, well, it's a good. I guess there's not. It's hard to have a bad breakdown, isn't it? Even the most shitty breakdown sounds fucking good. But yeah, because I think I showed you this song in Gav's gym, Paul.
Holy War.
I was like, yeah, because they just released a single like that morning or something.
Oh yeah, right.
And I put it on, and I think you had exactly that reaction. You were just like, oh yeah, this is cool, I guess. You were relatively indifferent to it, despite liking it. And then that breakdown stopped hitting. You were just like, oh fuck, that was cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, I'm a fiend for a juicy breakdown. That's my issue, my bane. So I like this music is because of the breakdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
just why I like it. So you even put a good breakdown on a bad song. It's still a bad song, and yeah, you put a good breakdown on.
It's
a
like
bad
putting
song,
racing stripes on a Suzuki Swift.
Good breakdown on a bad song. Yeah, it's like taking all of the taking all of the
it looks
letters
a little
of
bit
Subaru
better
off of the Subaru.
But it's still a Suzuki Swift.
It's still a Suzuki Swift.
So I give anyway. I love it. I would give this song, I think, a 7 out of 10 as well.
Yeah,
it's a safe 7 out of 10. It errs on the side of an 8, but it's a 7.
Yeah. But it was also the first song released of the album, so they were just like, hey, we're releasing an album called Holy War, and here is the song, and we're all like, whoa, meaning, lyrics.
Yeah, go watch the music video too.
I'm probably going to rate
lyrics.
it a 7 as well. It's probably not my favourite song on the album. It's not a song that I go back to almost at all. I actually find the song kind of boring, but or I don't find it anywhere near as impactful as most of the other songs on the album. I don't feel it has that strong sort of what would you call it?
Grabbed. I guess grabbed.
I'm not grabbed by it like a ballad kind of style song. Like most of their songs have like a kind of like a ballad feel to it with how the lyrics flow and everything. And this song is a completely different feel all the way through compared to the rest of the album.
Truth is, it's intro, chorus, verse, chorus, verse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is. It's very.
It's the pop song for
It's
Vi
the
Art.
pop song. Hey, we got to drink to that.
Oh, this is the quiet song on the album, boys.
Oh, and it's not the quiet song. I think emptiness. Is
Well,
the
then we
quiet
don't. Then we don't drink. What do you think the quiet song is?
Emptiness.
Yeah.
Oh no, because it fucking
I don't know.
doesn't it?
All their songs are so fucking
I
heavy,
would
man.
say Child of Sorrow, maybe.
Cool. So you give it a 7.
Yeah, I give it 7.
All round 7 out of 10. That's a pretty good. That's a 3 out of 3.
I mean, it's still a really good, powerful song, but
For
it's
a
just
7.
Yeah, personally, I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all.
I don't
they're all
know. I
very good.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Don't vibe with it as much as of any of the other songs on the
Which is saying something. If 7 out of 10 is I don't vibe with this as much as the others, then it says a lot about how good this album
Exactly
Yeah.
right. That, or at least that
Yeah.
song. You know what I mean?
is. Yeah, 100%.
All right. Song number 4. Coffin Dragger.
Dragger. Coffin Dragger.
Coffin
This song
Dragger.
has a feature on it, doesn't it, gentlemen?
Oh, it
It
does.
does. Winston McCall from Parkway Drive.
Winston Churchill. From
What?
Churchill.
Yep. The ex-Prime Minister and dead Prime Minister of
Of England.
Great Britain.
Great.
No, he
who
did lead
le-
led the British Army to win World War One
Yeah.
or 2 or whatever.
So it makes sense that Die Art would want to feature him on their album.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair
with
enough.
Winston. Old buddy boy Winston. So Winston from Parkway Drive, one of BK's favourite bands growing up.
One of all our favourite bands growing up.
Oh, I actually got into him after I met you guys, and after, like, so I got into Parkway well and truly after the Sale had set. All of their good songs were over by the time I started listening to them. They released Atlas. Atlas was a great. I was only listening to. I got into them before they released Atlas, and then Atlas was great, and then it was trash from there on. And then as I slowly listened to their earlier songs, I was like, damn, these guys were good.
I like a lot
Like
of stuff.
Siren Song and anything from Horizons.
Horizons.
Horizons definitely my favorite album.
Smoke 'em. Oh, great.
We'll do a Horizons episode, and you have to be on it, BK.
Oh fuck yeah.
So Coffin Dragger. I've got written here fast.
Yeah.
Just the word fast because it's just a fast song, like the whole way through.
Loud.
It's fast and loud and makes you feel like you're on a cloud.
Tell that story, BK.
When we were at Next, and one of our mates was doing the sound for the upstairs metal room, hardcore room kind of thing, and
but we didn't know he was there.
Yeah, we didn't know. We just bumped into him there.
Did something to do on a Thursday night, and then we were like, "Oh, look, hey man."
Hello, Kane.
What's going on, man? What are the bands like tonight? The first one's Loud. What do you mean? You'll see. And I'm not kidding. The songs are about 30 seconds long, loud and fast. That was it. They didn't make any sense.
Well,
that's Coffin Dragger
and fast.
There's a punk show on Triple J on Wednesday nights called Short, Fast, Loud.
I gotta stop drinking that beer. It's awful.
Mystery beer must be drank.
Can't drink it.
Coffin Dragger. What do you rate it out of 10, Paul?
Coffin Dragger. BK can start this time.
I'm gonna rate Coffin Dragger a 7. When I first came across the song, it was kind of like almost like a light bearer moment. I listened to the song on repeat for weeks, but then it kind of just lost its meaning to me because I sort of listened to it so much. I just sort of almost ruined the song for myself.
So would you
Did you get that with Lightbearer?
No, I can still listen to Lightbearer.
Yeah.
No problems.
I was going to say, would you rate it a 7 for the nostalgia of you liking the song? Or would you rate it a 7 because of what you think of it now?
What I think of it now, I still think it's an incredible song.
Just lost that sort of connection with you.
Yeah, I guess I just listened to it so much it became boring. But
I actually had that with the song last podcast.
It's still a really big and impactful song for me, but yeah, it's just not as great as what it was when I first heard it.
I get that. Cool. So you give it a 7.
7.
7, yeah.
I've given it a 7 as well.
That breakdown is tasty.
100%.
Especially because CJ and Winston sort of swapped vocals hand in hand there. They give each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
Give each other sort of like a try each of saying Coffin Dragger. Who can say Coffin Dragger the coolest?
So I actually really like the song all the way through, except for Winston's, I guess,
Signals in the Distance.
Vocals. Yeah, to the distance, whatever it is.
It's totally different.
It's not.
So the breakdown part you like with Winston?
I like the breakdown part after. Very good,
Yeah.
and he's low. Like his screams are great, and CJ screams are great the whole way through the song. But I actually don't like his piece. I feel like the drums fall off, the guitar falls off.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Winston's like
It's
lyrics
not
in that
as
part.
strong.
I don't know. Like I think Winston really works with his sound. He just doesn't work with this sound, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, so I still gave it a 7 because it's a great song, and like I'll listen to the whole thing, no worries. I'm just that part comes on, I'm just like trash, and then it keeps going, and I'm like Winston, he's still good, because then he comes in with those lows, and then like whoa,
Yeah.
impale the earth.
Isn't it Inhale the Earth?
I don't know.
Inhale the earth, yeah.
Sure, it's not impale.
No, it's inhale the earth.
Earth.
The Earth.
Boom.
bait me.
Yeah, great. It is a good song. 7, definitely a 7 out of 10.
I give it, at the risk of sounding, I think it's a 7 too.
You would. Copycat.
Yeah, I would, because it's what it is to me.
What are you?
It's similar.
A copycat?
It's
Think for yourself, man.
I love it. I do love it. It's just not. Once again, it's just like, oh yeah, cool. It's Coffin Dragger on Holy War.
Yeah.
Cool song. I think I get what you're saying with Winston's bit. It's different. It's like it's a pretty obvious juxtaposition with the rest of the song.
Exactly. He sort of, because it is like, okay, call it deathcore, call it death metal, whatever you want to call it. When Winston starts doing his piece in there, it's just like
it turns into a Parkway Drive song.
not even no, but it's
really
not even
does.
like
Yeah,
Parkway.
no, you're right.
Well, I mean, that's the sound of Parkway is Winston, but it sort of turns into a punk for a minute.
Well, Parkway's very punk inspired.
Yeah, it's sort of like, but that's what I mean. And like, you're listening to a death metal song, a deathcore song, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
you're
you're
like, what is this?
Oh, okay.
But it's just, I don't know. As somebody who really does love Parkway Drive, it still just triggers me a little bit. I get fucking frustrated. Sorry, keep going on. I don't mean to cut you off.
No. Let's you summarise it well. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Sheesh. I have my second mystery beer. This is one of my bargain bin beers.
It's one mystery beer per night, mate. Relax.
I don't care. Stomping Ground Pale Ale.
That's a good beer, actually. I've had that a couple of times. I mean, all my fucking frogs. It's my late night snack.
Just fucking come here and eat all your shit.
You always do. Come here and eat all of my lollies. You do bring steaks as a compensation.
Yeah, that's good.
But you do eat all my lollies every time. And the next song is... Fur and Claw.
Fur and Claw.
This is a fucking banger.
It's for all you vegans.
Alright, Fur and Claw,
Anyway.
I'm starting because it's my fave. Alright?
Yeah.
Fuck all of you.
I thought Emptiness was.
Emptiness is a great song, but no, Fur and Claw is my favourite song of the album, hands down. I've given Fur and Claw a 9 out of 10.
Go on.
Amazing start. Great. Oh, so good. Progression of this song is insane. I feel like they move through it. The song feels like, was it 3 or 4 minute song around there, and it feels like it goes away in like a minute. Like it just goes, and you're like, oh, every single time. Doesn't matter how many times you hear it. I reckon it's possibly one of the best breakdowns on the whole album. Because
Which bit, the dragging the human, what is it? Burn in the body bag, human parasite.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, yes, not the lyrics as such. The lyrics are
No,
good
but I mean
too,
that
but-
bit. I mean
But
that
that bit, yeah. Sorry, the center breakdown. So they do a breakdown in the middle of the song, and then they do a really, really thick one at the end where they like sort of cap out a little bit of the music, a little bit of the instruments, and make it really like pieces of breakdown. But the one in the middle of the song, when I first heard it, I was like, man, I haven't heard a breakdown like this. This is honestly like some North Laney style stuff. Like the way that it's like, instead of it's just being like, you know, like a regular breakdown of just zeros and kick.
Gent.
Yeah, like instead of, you know, you got that fucking like that drop in it as well, and like the slide in it as well, and then you've got these like pieces that all just blend differently. Song is tight. Absolutely tight. I reckon it's one of the best songs on the album, hands down. My favourite song on the album, hands down, just beautiful.
Wow.
And as a drummer, I fucking appreciate how drum inspired this song is. When you listen to it, you go, the drum's amazing. Doesn't matter if you play drums for a year, never, or for 20 years. You're like, the drums in that song are very good. Just
Yep.
catches you. So there you go. There's my Fair and Claw. Also, lyrics are great. Also, I like the name.
Not a lot you don't like about this song.
No, I fucking love this song.
Well, Paul, I'm inclined to agree with you because I also give it a 9 out of 10. And I what gets me is the start little breakdown. How it just comes at like that. That always will get me. But it's interesting that you say you like the middle breakdown a lot because I actually don't love that one, but I love the final breakdown. Like the burn in the body bag, but like the last one where it's like all just quiet. It like really big breaks in between each bit.
Big section.
And that's my just that's what I like in a breakdown anyway. Like
Don't
I
get
want
me
to
wrong. I'm not saying I don't like the last one. I'm just saying.
No, I agree, and I do like the middle one too. It's just the bookends of the song. I think my dad has a saying, right, about performing music, which doesn't really apply much to recorded music, but it's the same principle. You can, if as long as you nail the start and nail the end, it matters a lot less what happens in the middle.
I disagree. Trev
I'm
is
not
a
saying-
very, very great man, all right? Trev, Owen's dad. He's a good man. He has got a good heart, and he's
Shout out
very,
to
very
Trev.
good. Shout out Trent. Sponsored by Trent.
Trent.
No. Trav's a very... Trev's a very... Trav. Oh, my God. Now I'm mucking up everyone. Troy is a great dude. Trevor is a very, very good man. Very good with
Troyvis.
music. Amazing, amazing musician. And big inspiration why Owen's good at music and cares about it so much. However, he's wrong. As you'll see with one of the next songs coming up, the center of the song needs to have some juice. Otherwise, we're gonna caboose. All
I'm
right?
not saying the center of the song doesn't matter. I'm saying when you're
You're saying if you
This is
nail the
also
start
why-
and nail the end, the center of the song doesn't matter.
no, I said when you perform live, if you nail the start and nail the end, people are going to remember less about the middle. Is what I'm trying to say.
So what you're saying is, if you can cheap out at any point in time, do it.
Yeah, do it in
in
the
the
middle.
center of the song.
Yeah.
I disagree. I reckon the entire song should be.
No, fucking A, man. The better,
Yeah,
better get the song.
yeah. Then
the
use
whole
an old
song
saying
be
that
good.
makes sense. Sorry, Trev. Sorry to put you on roast, mate. You're a
This
great
is also
bloke.
totally different because we're talking about recorded music here.
I
You know,
don't
when you
care.
get time to plan out and structure
Look,
and
the start of the podcast
Ah.
and the end of the podcast are what's important. The center of the podcast can be full of fucking dookie noise.
So Paul and I have both given our opinions on this song, BK. Oh yeah, also good lyrics because and when we saw them live, yeah, CJ was like, "This song's for all the vegans and vegetarians in the room," and instantly I was like, "They're actually
Fur
going
and
to play
Claw.
Fur and Claw here."
Yeah,
And it was
100%. You're like, hey, Fur and Claw. And then it comes on.
Yeah.
I was there
BK.
too, actually. We were all
Yeah,
there.
I know. That's why
Make
I
sure
thought
you
it was a
state
good time
that.
to bring it up.
You don't need to
Paul
embarrass
was there
me.
too. Brandon, Owen, and Paul, and Gavin, with all
Oh,
there.
Bev's won it. Yeah,
Gav was there.
at the corner hotel.
At the corner in Ritchie.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's right, he was too. Shout out to Gav. Gav's a good bloke.
Shout out to Gav.
Shout out to Gav. Sponsor, our bank manager.
BK, what do you reckon of Fur and Claw?
I give Fur and Claw a 6.
Whoa! Do you want to explain yourself, young man?
I don't find it anywhere near as captivating. I feel it's a pretty hollow song for myself.
How interesting is that? Paul, I think it's both Paul and I's. It's killing Paul. It's eating him up inside. I think it's both Paul and I's favorite song on the album, and you're like, it's shit compared to the rest of it
You know why he doesn't like it?
because we like it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a different opinion here.
You're just trying to strike controversy.
If you're
Speaking
trying
of
to
controversy,
force
this album had a lot of controversy surrounding its album cover because, well, the initial release of the album cover. So, right before it was released, Andy Marsh, the guitarist, he released this picture, and it said "The Art Is Murder, Holy War." And it was a picture of a child in like a hooded robe, revealing a suicide bomb vest. And it was
Sheesh.
and yeah, sheesh. And he bruh. And he when he put the post up, he said, "A child for every religion that has indoctrinated the young and disadvantaged and sent them off to war and bloody death without cause or reason." Which I think's really poetic, and it really touches on pretty much what the whole album's about. And then a lot of retailers basically saw this cover and went, "We won't stock this if you don't change the album cover."
Are you
So
talking
they have
about?
a
Are you talking about this album cover?
yeah, this one.
You
Uh,
mean this one?
Yeah, the one here, and here, and here, and here. And I'm going to regret doing that. I'm going to have to edit that in post.
And over here and here. Is that right?
Stop.
And
I can
right
just cut
here.
you out if I don't like where you put them.
And in
Oh, they're all... Wait, I think there's something behind Paul's ear, BK. Oh, shit. It's Holy War.
Wow, how controversial.
Wow, controversial. But
Now-
yeah, a lot of retailers didn't want to stock it, so they made a censored version, which is literally it's cool, but it's like nowhere
close
near
up
as
on the
impactful
face, hey?
as the yeah. So it's close up on the hooded child, just like look at me.
Now-
Edgy.
I've also got something to say about controversy.
For sure.
BK was in the midst of telling us what he thought about Fur and Claw, and you cut him off with this rubbish about an album cover. So, BK, you can continue, man.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
You gave it a 7,
it's
and
a
then you
shit
gave
song
it a
anyway.
6.
No, you gave it a 6.
You gave it a
and then
6, and then you said
and I
maybe
said
a
it was because
7.
you're trying to spark controversy. You find it hollow song. That's what you said.
Hollow song,
Um,
which couldn't be any more incorrect, but fair enough.
I think it's possibly because I'm a very guitar influenced person, and because the song's very drum influenced, I don't resonate with it as much.
Yeah, bad taste.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's just not a song that I go back to all the time.
Oh,
It is a song that I
get
listen
out of my
to
house.
quite frequently.
Because you
Especially
listen to
when
this
I was
album
sort of-
frequently.
Especially when I was sort of going through the phase of listening to Coffin Dragger because it's the following song. I'd listen to it then when this is sort of like when the album first came out, and yeah, personally, I just don't vibe with it as much. I find the breakdown incredibly heavy and powerful, but I don't resonate with the song as much as what I do with like Lightbearer or Absolute Genocide or Naked and Cold, I guess.
Fair enough.
Naked and
I'm
Afraid.
I'm pretty sure it's Naked and Cold.
Yeah, Naked and Afraid. I love that show.
You would.
I do.
What?
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 Huh? What?
What?
All right. Song 6. Deliver us to evil.
Deliver us a weeble.
I fucking love this song.
Yeah, I also fucking love
Me
this
too.
song.
I fucking love
It's
this.
so catchy.
It's so good.
So catchy.
Alright, Bigger, you start. You start this time.
Deliver Us to Evil. I don't know many of the lyrics to this song, even though I've listened to it so much, and it's kind of a song that I kind of skip a bit too. I love the song, and it's not a song I'd straight off the album go, oh, I'm gonna listen to that, but I'd probably give this song an 8. An 8 out of 10.
Yep.
Mainly because it's super catchy and boppy.
It is. I'd agree with that. It's a song that comes on. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
straight up
it's
a
like
fun
you're just
song.
like, you're doing this like you're bopping exactly right. You're
Yeah,
bopping
never
the
sad to
entire
hear
way
it.
through
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single time, and then you get that little breakdown at the end, and they sort of slow it down with the and you're like, oh, here comes a fucking thick breakdown like the rest of the album, and you're like, oh, here it comes, and then it's fast as hell. It's like
Kind of like Puppet Master.
and yeah, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is fast as. Where you... I reckon it has, besides Fur and Claws start off with the drums, I think this has like my favorite open for the whole album.
I reckon, yeah, I know.
The open for this song's like straight up. You're just like, ooh.
Straight up bopping.
Yeah,
It's straight into
You know?
it.
It's all business, straight
There's
into the
no
point.
Yeah, straight
sort
to the
of
point. That's it.
build up, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And the pacing for this song's really, really great too.
Yep.
Yeah, breakdown, fast, great, awesome. You know, you can listen to it over and over again. If they just fucking played the breakdown on loop for 3 minutes, I would have listened to that too and been like, this is fucking sick. But then the second breakdown after it, now that's Torty.
Which breakdown?
The other breakdown after it. So they sort of like, they do the really fast bit, and then they do it again while the kicks are just going the whole way through, and they're doing the same riffs on guitar, and then the lead guitar is just like doing this crazy like solo.
Yeah.
Actually, I showed Jacob this song. I was like, you have to check this one out, and he really liked the breakdown.
Yeah.
He really, really liked
He's
it.
got
I
an
know when
affinity
he
for those
likes
kind of
it.
things.
I know when he likes a song, it's good.
Yeah. Music is
You know what I mean?
subjective, Paul.
Music is subjective, but yeah, for him and myself, who, you know, he doesn't really listen. He listens to a lot of rap. He listens to some metal, but if he likes a song, if he picks out a metal song for me and goes, check this out, I know it's going to be like rich with fucking breakdowns and zeros.
You know what he likes.
Just those big
Just
open
Open
strummings.
palm
Some
muted
big
notes.
open palm muted notes, and some kicks and some
Some
guitar,
bambergers.
yeah, some guitar fucking melody over the top, just
For very much similar reasons to you, Paul, I give this song an 8 out of 10. I don't know, I wouldn't stretch it as a 9. It's good for all the song, but I think once it hits that breakdown with the, you know, how it builds up, and like does that fast breakdown, you're just like, man, this is just such a cool song. Like, it's exactly what you think. You think it's going to come up with something slow and heavy and disgusting, and then it's just like,
surprises you.
like a groove. It comes up with
it's
this
a groove. It is. The whole
And
song
then,
is a groove. The whole song just
when you think it's over,
flows so well.
with one of the most filthy, heavy lyrics, bow to your empty god.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
And it's still fast though. It's still boppy. It's still like...
Yeah. Hey, it's just like a little break. It's like, bow to your empty god. And then it follows it up with the... like,
Yeah.
which is very thy art, and I'm all about this.
Yeah.
And then
It sounds so
even
good.
even the finale of the song, like, dun 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 dun, and then there's it's like I don't know what timing happens there, but there's like a couple of rests, like small rests, and then it's dun to cap it off. I just think it's such a fucking cool song. So 8 out of 10.
All right. Let's take it to the next, because I've got some controversy, like the album cover, for this next one. Emptiness.
Song number 7.
Number 7 gets a number 6 from me.
Do you want to explain
I-
yourself?
Love the entrance to this song. The slow start, the vibe, the feeling of it is awesome. However, I feel like this song is like what you said earlier, Owen. It really, really lacks in the center of the song. I feel like after the first minute and before the last minute of the song, it's boring and lacks.
Yeah,
The
I agree
centre.
with you. Yeah.
It's really missing. It's very, very repetitive, and it might be because maybe this song they had an idea and they come up with it, and it's, you know, one of the last songs that they made for the album or something like that. It might be some sort of reason to it, that they lost all of their good riffs or they've used them up already or something like that. Who knows? Like, we've written music before, and that's sort of how it works in that sense. But
and then
Yeah,
some people have
the
to read it
center-
off their phone.
Yeah, some just read it off their phone, don't they?
Yeah.
I put
yeah,
my
center
heart and
of the
soul
song,
into this music, and you're like, that'll do.
I'm not going to learn it. I'm just going to read it. Missing in the center
Nah, it
center
was
of the song. I don't know about the lyrics because I don't really focus in on the lyrics as much as I think both of you guys do. At least with Thy Art, because I know it's just controversial.
No, not all the time. Sometimes
Hate
it's
speech
purely
against
poetic.
religion. And it is
No.
poetic in its sense, but like those poetic parts do stand out. However, I can't remember the middle of this song.
Yeah, neither can I.
I like the middle of the song because it's got a really, really heavy breakdown in it.
Yeah, I've got Chunky
'Cause it-
Boy Breakdown written here.
Yeah. Because it's
But
like it's
remembering
the
it?
sick
No.
from the filth, spew forth black blood. Heavy. That's one of the
Poetic.
reasons
Yeah.
it's
meaningful.
once again, it's poetic.
Touches my heart.
And it, oh jeez, man, that's pretty edgy,
That was cringe, bro.
dude. You just posted cringe.
Rest in peace.
Ripping pepperonis. Yeah, no, I give this song a 7 out of 10.
That's fair enough.
I love it to bits. That's it. That's all I gotta say about it. And that cool breakdown in the middle, and I do like the slow start too. This is the quiet song. So everyone drink. Cheers. What's your
It's
problem,
so
BK?
shit. It's so shit.
The beer.
Oh, the beer.
Ugh. It's fucking gross. It's just straight up sour.
You know what it tastes like?
Ass.
Damn.
It tastes like every other fucking small batch brewer.
Yeah. Some people just shouldn't.
It tastes like ass.
All right,
Morgan Freeman.
Brandon. Emptiness. Morgan
I agree.
With what?
I feel this song is probably about a 7, and you guys have pretty much just hit the nail on the head. It pulls a Trevor here. It starts strong.
Pulls a Trevor. Oh, there we
Starts strong. Fucks up in the middle. Strong end.
So you're just like, hey, that was a cool song.
Yeah.
Fucking
I don't remember the middle of it.
Huh? Do you remember those poker terms we come up with?
The poker terms, the little
Pair of
duckies.
ducks.
No, that's an actual fucking
A
thing.
pair of ducks.
Yeah, that's an actual poker term.
A pair of ducks and a
Is that
What
a
was the
pair
other
of twos?
Justin
Yeah.
what? Justin Martins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Justin Martins, the pair of
Pair of
Jacks.
Justins. Pair of Jacks.
It's paradox. It's a Trevsy.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's a Trev.
Right.
It is. He pulls a Trev.
Oh, also, by the way, it's Dad's birthday today. It's Trevsy's birthday.
As we're sitting here roasting him for his analogy.
For his anal orgy.
For his anal orgy.
Just remember to start strong and end hard.
No, you want to start hard and end strong.
You start hard and
Yeah,
end
that's
strong.
Go on, Trevs. Good on you, mate.
Alright, anyway,
Good on you,
shout out to Trevsy.
Shout out to Trevsy. We do love you. Sorry for offending.
Song 8, Violent Reckoning.
May I start? A long ass build up to 2 huge breakdowns. This is a 6 out of 10, and that's probably a high score for it. It goes forever, and then there's 2 thick boys, and then that's it.
It's funny you say it goes forever because it's the shortest song on the album.
Well, it feels
Oh.
like an eternity.
Second shortest.
Yeah, Vengeance is
Yeah, Vengeance is the shortest.
Vengeance is the shortest, but that is a late addition to the album, isn't it?
Yeah, Vengeance. I'm just realizing now I don't actually.
It would have come out with the album. It's just that
When
I think it might have had something to do with it.
But I had this album on CD, and I didn't.
Because it wasn't
I
the
don't even.
full length one, maybe.
I think it's a B-side that they've added.
Maybe it was like a. Are you still eating those?
Yeah.
I don't
Can't help
actually
myself. If
know
food's
this.
there, I'll eat
I
it.
don't know. Look, we're not talking about vengeance. We're
Right.
talking about Violent Reckoning.
I like Violent Reckoning.
Yeah. Give us your rating.
7.
I would give it a 7 also.
It's not a song I always go to, but it's definitely a strong song.
Paul's right too. It's a build up to 2 big breakdowns,
It is. It's a long ass build up to 2 massive breakdowns, and they're good, but
which
the
is
rest
not a
of-
bad thing to
It's
me.
not
That's
bad,
that's
but
I'm
the
all about
build-up-
that.
The
Like,
build up is also boring. It's a very slow build up. Music's good.
Musically, yeah.
It's good. It's just I can't track listing.
Yeah, because it's got that first Violent Reckoning one. Then there's the big, real low one.
Vengeance was on the initial CD pressing vinyl bonus track. It's the 11th song, and it was released Starfighter April 2015.
Why don't you tell us this when we actually talk about Vengeance?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Violent Reckoning. A big build up to 2 massive breakdowns.
It's a good song. It's just doesn't. It's got no wow factor. The breakdown.
Yeah, except for the end.
It's got no wow factor.
Yeah.
Pulls a little bit of a Trevsy. It finishes hard.
Yeah, it finishes real hard. Pulls half a Trebs.
Half a Trev. I
Half
give
a
this
Trev.
song 1/2 Trev.
What did you give it?
Oh,
What score?
yeah, he talked about
I
it.
already said
What score though?
7. I think it was. Yeah.
7 out of 11. Krispy Kreme.
5 out
Alright.
of 7. Song 9. Child,
Child
of Sorrow.
Of sorrow.
So-
Alright. Alright, this is the lowest rating that I've got.
Really? Do
Yeah, really.
you want to tell us straight off the bat?
I do, because we're on a podcast talking about album reviews. So, this song is a 5 out of 10 for me. Guitar solo is real natty, sort of like 3/4 of the way through the song. But I've pretty much written from my notes that this song is basic. You're basic. That's all I got as well. Sorry.
That's interesting.
Third quarter of the
I
album,
don't-
trash.
I don't give this song a huge rating either. I'll probably give it a...
6?
Yeah, I'll give it a 6. What I like about it is it's... Which is interesting because most of the time when I listen to Die Art, I like the really heavy... Like, I like it when it's basically just a nuke. Like, all of a sudden you're hit with this filthy, massive breakdown.
Yeah.
That's because Puppet Master is my favorite Die Art song, and it's no small wonder because like that thing is just like this disgusting, massive breakdown near the end. Child of Sorrow is the exception to that rule because I really like this song, and it's almost it's probably the closest thing that Die Art has to like an atmospheric or an I can't even describe it. Atmospheric is the closest adjective I have for it. It's like a almost ambient at it, like you know, like
Are you telling me this is the quiet song?
No.
maybe this is the quiet song. That means we should drink again.
You
This
reckon
is
this
not
is the
the
quiet
quiet-
song?
I give this song an 8. I fucking love this song.
Oh, you would.
And you like exactly those sort of things I was describing, right?
Yeah.
When the
I like the-
when the music is more
Atmospherical and draws you in and tells a story kind of thing. I remember CJ actually telling us about this song when we're having that vocal lesson, and he was telling us about how it's actually about his wife and her family that were affected by the Holocaust. And
Hectic.
I don't remember that.
yeah, that is one big thing that really stuck in my mind from when we did that.
Righto. So you like this song
Wow.
so much because it holds value to you as well. You've got a connection to it. You've got some sort of... no, because you appreciated that time with CJ at the,
Oh, there's-
at the vocal lesson.
I
That's a
guess
good
so.
point,
You
actually.
There's
appreciated that
too,
time,
but
and you found
not-
a connection with that song.
There's
because
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't change the
Yeah.
way you feel about a song. In fact, last podcast episode, I was talking about discoveries and why that was so. The song discoveries, why that connected for me. There's a connection there which makes it more. You know, if you were to tell the audience and us the story of CJ's experience and how that connected with you, we'd find another piece to hold on to about that song.
Mm.
You know, I reckon Owen and myself would go away from this and listen to that song again and see if we can find more meaning in it. That's what
Yep.
this is about. That's what HamBoys Pod is about. That's what we want to bring to the people.
Yeah.
Viva la France! Power to the peepees.
Yeah, no, actually, I agree with you there.
Take it away, man.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Oh, that's basically all he said. It was written about how his wife and how her family had been affected by the Holocaust and certain other religious ailments. I can't quite remember, but I just remember that being one of them.
That's awesome, man. You found connection in that song in something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really
Wow.
liked this. I personally really like the music in the song because like it's very atmospherical.
Yeah.
For me, it's really big and powerful.
Quite put the right
I'm not
adjective
really
for it.
like I love big sound. I mean, obviously because we all listen to metal and stuff. But yeah, I'm drawn to those big atmospherical songs.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I
man.
remember you telling me about that, and as soon as I started describing why I enjoy this song, and especially as it being an exception to the rule for me, I was like, "This is BK
big
all over."
sound.
Yeah, he's big sound.
Big sound.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
man.
what you like about death metal is the big sound.
You like me
I
like
like-
big sound.
Atmospherical. Yeah. Atmosphere in a song, I guess. Which is
You
why I
like-
like with Lightbearer, for instance, like that whole end part, like the drawing into the breakdown of
Yeah.
talking about the
Well,
drawing all the
that
masses
last
in and
bit, that last bit's not a breakdown even. Like with the build up, I really like, and then when it like cuts the silence, and then it's, and it's like rejoice, day of Satan, and a man
that's
is
the one.
upon us. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, it's very.
We're
ambient.
not talking about-
You've always been a fan of that sort of melodic background,
yeah.
though.
yeah,
So it's a very melodic, eerie, ambient.
it's not
ambient
the
is the
focal
word, but
point
it's
that
eerie.
you is
It's not-
attracted to.
That's right. It's not the vocal. It's not the vocals. It's just to
the
do.
focal point.
Oh, I thought you said
Like
vocal.
it's not the yeah, the focal point.
Oh,
Like
right.
it's yeah.
It's the
You're more interested.
it's the build up around it, and that's fantastic. I know what you mean too, man. But I just haven't heard the song in that sort of way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's move on to the
The
next
penultimate song. As far as I was concerned, this is the last song on the album, but we'll
Yeah,
talk about
that's right.
Vengeance in
Number
a sec.
10.
But
song. Naked and Afraid.
Hey,
Naked and Cold. This
Naked and Cold.
song
Naked and
also is very atmospheric.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm gonna put this song as a 9.
Ooh, is it?
This
Does
is
that make it your? Oh, is your second favorite? I think on the album then.
Yeah. Yep.
Light Bearer being
Wow.
It'd probably go Lightbearer, probably Naked and Cold, almost Absolute Genocide.
Yeah, this song I find I didn't appreciate as much as the others until every time I hear it. You know, it's funny when I think about thy art. When I think about thy art songs, usually it is the big sounds that I'm attracted to. Every time I hear a song like this, or Child of Sorrow, or any of those like more atmospheric, ethereal style thy art songs, I'm instantly, I don't know what the feeling I can describe is. It's like it's almost like awe. I'm in
Yeah.
awe of it.
Yeah.
So this invokes that emotion for me, and for that reason, and also because in my mind, this was the concluding song of the album,
The
although
finale.
Vengeance
Yeah,
is now
till
the,
as of recently.
yeah. So, in the context of it being the finale, the conclusion to this story, I find it to be probably an 8 out of 10. But then if it's being followed by something else, I just need to keep in mind that it's a B-side. So anyway, we'll talk about it when it comes to it. But
I agree. I actually gave it an 8 out of 10 as well. Like, happily gave it an 8 out of 10. It's a very, very cool song. I think I've got a little bit more of an appreciation for it and for Lightbearer because of BK, actually. He's, you sort of would rant on about the vocals and the lyrics and the power behind certain things that they'd say a lot to us, or at least to me. And I think I gave him more of a chance and listened to him a few more times individually to try and pick out pieces of it because of that. So like we said for Child of Sorrow, you know, you can only see what's in front of you. The big picture is very hard to see when you've got two eyes that point straight forward. When there's four eyes and you can see it from different directions, it opens up a whole different world for you. Especially when it comes to sound, there's four ears now. You know what I mean? Like you're hearing different things, and I reckon that's great. Like I've got, like my notes here, is nothing but compliments to this song. I've got vocally impressive because his vocals are very impressive in this song. I feel like he finished with exploring a lot of his range, whereas the rest of the song he fit the niche where Naked and Cold he goes a bit above and a bit below where where the rest of the album goes. And I think because it was meant to be the finale, I've got end of song is smooth as hell because it ends so smooth and it ends really, really, really well.
With the slow dissonant guitar and
it's sort of like the work out of the song. And what is it? It's probably like 30 or 40 seconds until like pretty much ending of the song.
Outro.
It's a long outro, but it's
which is cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, 100%. And especially beforehand when you'd listen to it and you'd have the album on repeat, and then you'd start back up with Absolute Genocide, and like that fade out and then back in.
Do you do that?
Yeah,
do you
always.
Albums on repeat.
Yeah,
always, man.
Because I could probably count in my hand how many times I've gone back and listened to an album immediately after finishing that album. But that being said, because my definition of listening to an album on repeat is listening to it multiple times in a day, not literally listen to it on repeat. So I'll listen to it once, and then I feel like
you sort of give it some time to breathe, or what?
Yeah. I feel like I'm afraid of cheapening it in some way. Like I've had times, probably closer to my adolescence, I guess. I've listened to albums so much that it sort of made me go, oh, whatever, I'm done with that now, and I don't want to feel like that about music as much. So like
that's a good point.
And like every now and then I'll stumble across an album that I just go, holy shit, how have I slept on this? Or how have I only just discovered this? Because or it just comes out and I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing. But when I repeat it, it's usually like a couple of hours later.
For instance, for perspective, how many times did you listen to Error's album?
Augment,
that's right. How many times did you listen to Augment?
That wasn't one of my like put on repeat albums, but I did listen to it a lot.
That's a very good album.
I listened to it most days when I discovered it. And the thing
Never really
is,
got into Error.
You should listen to more recent stuff's a bit more like
I showed you a couple of those songs.
Yeah, like I like
it's like
them, but it's not a band.
not easier to or anything. I don't know. The old stuff, you just like you really got to sit down and sort of immerse yourself in it
and work through the pieces and the sections of the music.
Yeah, and I think that was my problem because what I really loved about Augment was the songs Augment and Dementia. Dementia is a masterpiece that just finalizes that album.
Hey, look, a quick note in there, very quick. I like any song that speaks about an albatross, the bird, because I really like the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah.
I love it. I reckon it's great. I reckon it was a fantastic piece of literature, and Error did that.
Heavy hangs the albatross.
That's a nice sized pelican.
No, that's a pelican, bro. It's not an albatross. He says pelican. It's not even the same sort of bird. No, he says something, and he says some lyrics in a particular song. I don't know which one. I can't remember.
Yes, that's a nice sized albatross.
And and he talks about an albatross, and I love the significance of an albatross. Either way, all right, I give it an 8 out of 10. You give it a 9 out of 10. Owen, you give it a 9 out of 10. On to the last song.
Gave it an 8.
Last song, Vengeance.
Vengeance.
This is
It doesn't
It
fit.
sounds out of place. I think
Yeah.
it's because it does for a moment there.
It's probably why.
Like it
didn't
starts
make it
off
to the
with
main
like a bit of
release.
ambient in the background, a bit of like, you know, ominous guitar work, a little bit of
probably-
Viart style.
Yeah, it probably
And
fits
then they
more
do-
so on Dear Desolation.
Yeah, it's very Dear Desolation.
And then they go slam metal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
there's
you're
a
like-
bit in it where it's like literally just slam,
It's
isn't
just
it?
slam. Boom, bum, 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 bum. It's just slam. And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I think in itself as an individual song, and I've rated it here as an individual song, and let me just clarify for a second. As its own song, separate from the album Holy War, I give it an 8 because I like the fact that they did something different by going a little slam with it. It's still Viart, it still sounds good, but when you attach it to the end of Holy War, it's possibly the lowest performing song. That probably comes from two reasons. One being, I know the album through and through, from start to finish, from Absolute Genocide to Naked and Cold, and I feel like Owen said earlier, Naked and Cold is a perfect end to the album, and a very, very good transition out to a transition back in with Absolute Genocide. And for my second reason, that it disrupts the balance.
Yeah.
It just disrupts the
Yeah,
balance of
that's-
the album.
That's it, isn't it?
It's if Vengeance was sort of the interlude, even if Vengeance was between Emptiness and Violent Reckoning,
Or Fair and Claw. And
maybe for you,
Yeah,
but for me,
it would be good. No, I
it'd be
agree.
good
I
because
think
it'd
it'd be
build
good
that.
after
It'd
Fair and Claw and-
it'd build that little bit of momentum back up for me between. So that's fine. You can think that if you want to. I
Yeah, that's a
reckon
good point
between
actually, too.
between the two slow between the two slower songs for me, or the two weaker songs for me, if it was in between, it would build it up a little bit with some heaviness, and you're like, whoa, and then the album could end. So if they obviously they can't go back and put something back in later on and go, oh, it's actually track 7 and everything else has moved up one digit. You know what I mean? But right at the end of the album, nope, not for me. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
So then what's your actual rating?
So, because this is an album review and we're talking about individual songs in an album, I'd probably give it a 4. It doesn't fit.
Yep.
It doesn't fit
That
into
seems
the album. If it's individual, standalone, if it was a single that they released, just having a bit of fun,
Yep.
I'd be like, dude, that shit's an 8. No worries. It's fucking sick. It's fire. It's like
that
big
other,
as.
yeah.
What's that single they released?
Having a bit of fun. You know what I mean? Like
after,
they're releasing something else.
was it after Dear Desolation?
Hunt the ones that run. Killing Season.
Was it Killing Season?
Yeah, that's such
Or
a
Death Perception.
No, Killing
Death
Season.
Perception.
Death
Death
Perception.
Perception, as a single, great song.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Death Perception.
And what
Brilliant.
about there's that other one. They've got a
Killing
few
Season.
singles. What's that one with the red album cover?
No Absolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So the albums are
But
fantastic.
You're spot on, Paul. I feel literally the same way about
It disrupts
Vengeance.
the whole album, man.
I give it, but I would give it maybe a 5. No, a 4. You're right. A 4
It's a
in the
4.
context of this album.
In the
As a
context of the
single,
album.
yeah, I probably
Yeah.
feel a lot different, but I
Yeah.
just don't think it fits
In
in any way.
context for the end of the album.
And all the points for it that I give come from the fact that I do like the song, but I just think it's weird they put it in there. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Well, that's why it's a bonus track, I guess.
yeah. But a bonus track, I feel like. Think about here's a bonus track. The bonus track on Found in Faraway Places, Marathon. Marathon fits really well on that album, and it's a B-side.
It connects. It really does connect at all.
Yeah.
But
So
you could,
even though Vanguard is a perfectly good conclusion to the album,
yeah,
a Marathon fits great. It's almost like a little epilogue.
Yeah.
Whereas Vengeance is like a, oh look, we wrote another song.
Yeah, just throw it
It's
in.
like maybe you guys should have saved that for Dear Desolation.
Yeah, or released as a small cut
Yeah,
single
exactly.
that would have got their audience wild and been like, what the hell? They're going slam now, and then they don't go slam with their new album. Not, actually, honestly, that's not a bad idea.
So we've come to the end of the album.
We have.
Paul, what was your favourite song and why?
My favourite song was Fur and Claw, for all of that I stated above.
Pathetic.
I reckon it as a drummer, it resonates with another drummer. As a drum influenced song, I feel like it resonates with me as a drummer, and it's just tidy like the whole way through. It's boppy, fun. The breakdowns are thick, and everything. Vocals are great. Music is great. It's fun to listen to. It's heavy.
Great song.
You can show it to just about anybody, and they'll go, "This is trash. Why am I listening to this?" But but they're wrong.
Wow, this is garbage. You like this?
But yeah, great song.
When you show
Fantastic
it to all
song.
those people that listen to anything.
I think the next question is, what is the album as a whole rated, right?
No, I think the next question is, BK, what is your favourite song and why?
How the fuck?
I'm gonna say Ghosts.
Just say Lightbearer already.
The band.
Yeah, it's definitely Lightbearer.
Got anything to elaborate on that? I mean, I guess you already gave a good.
It just gets
good
me really
reasons.
hyped.
Mm.
Really sucks me into the atmosphere of the song, and especially the build up to the breakdown. With how the lyrics are super poetic, and powerful,
Yep.
but super edgy too.
And you love a bit of edge.
I love that edgy stuff.
Edge Lords.
My favourite song was
Treat
also
for
Fur and
me?
Claw. As Paul, same as Paul.
Guys,
Fur-
Which is
Correct.
pretty much the same as.
oh, fuck.
Shut up, man.
Shit.
It's good. It just comes out of the gates hard, and it's got filthy breakdowns in it, and it's got that big sound.
You know what's
from
good
the
about
west
it?
of the town.
It starts off, it's really good, and it ends really good.
And then all the middle
Which
is
is it?
really good.
In the middle, it kind of just disappears.
Thank you, Trevor.
Paul, your least favourite song and why?
In terms of the album, Vengeance.
Okay.
Agreed.
Out
I
of
think
out
here
of
it might be. Yeah, fuck
Vengeance.
it. I agree. Vengeance is
out
my
of
least favourite.
yeah. All right, so let's remove it because we've all talked about how we felt about it. So without
It's an
Vengeance,
outlier.
it's an outlier. Without Vengeance, Child of Sorrow is my least favorite song, unfortunately. For me, currently, and as of right now, what's your least favorite?
My least favorite. It's either Fur or,
Think about it.
between Fur and Claw and Holy War.
Like the whole album.
Yeah. The whole album in general was trash.
This-
I've listened to it like half of once. Nah, it's.
You got to Fur and
I'm
Claw
gonna
and
say
decide you don't
I'm gonna
know.
say Holy War.
Do you think you
Yeah,
don't like Holy
Holy
War
War.
because you've heard it so many more times in comparison?
Possibly, but
Because that's
I just don't.
That's what you said about Dispossession.
I think it's super overhyped. Yeah, I think. Yeah, majorly overhyped.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's the
released as a single.
released as like the songs.
And the
album.
album Holy War was the one, and you listen
Yeah,
to
it's
Holy
going
War
to
first.
be.
That's the one that you listen
Yeah,
to.
you listen to it first, and I listen
Oh,
to it a lot.
You always
but-
listen to the self-titled.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the carrion of fucking Horizons. It's
Yeah, I
the
get
carrion of fucking Holy War, the album.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the title track kind of fucking thing, and
The Carry On of Carry On.
Oh shit.
yeah, and like I love the song, but I just don't think it holds the hype of
Whole
what
album.
people think
And what the
it
album.
does. Like, I think all the other songs on the album are far more powerful than what Holy War is.
That's fair enough.
Kind of like Carrion from Horizons. I think Carrion's a great song, but I definitely don't think it's the big hype end every set kind of thing with Carrion.
Yeah. I I know.
I
What you
don't
mean.
see it. I don't get it.
Oh,
Like, I love the song, but I don't get it.
What was your least favorite song on the album?
Thinking about each song on the album, probably be Coffin Dragger.
Damn.
just-
Yeah, wow. I didn't expect that.
It's look, same thing. Like I fucking love it. It's such a good song, but I'm just like, I compare it to almost not including Vengeance, obviously. I compare it to everything else in the album, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, the only part
Just
of me
another one.
that even finds it hard to say that's my least favorite is due to the fact that Winston's on it. Like without Winston, if that wasn't Winston there, I'd just be like, this is weird. Fine.
I reckon it'd probably be more impactful with CJ doing that vocal.
Oh, okay,
Well,
yeah.
as we've
if
seen-
CJ had done that,
As what we've seen when we've seen them live, and Winston hasn't been with them when they've played
Well,
Coffin Dragger, and
except
CJ.
for that exception
they-
when they opened for Parkway that time.
Yeah,
yeah,
That was
100%.
yeah,
that
we've
was
seen
so
that.
good.
Yeah, but
That was fucking cool.
Every time
Winston
That's
came
different,
in
'cause
with
I'm
that
sitting
footy.
here going like, oh, I don't like Coffin Dragger that much, but that was fucking awesome.
exactly right. And obviously, live vocals are way when they're done properly, and both those vocalists do live vocals.
Totally different.
Awesome. CJ, every time he's sung the parts for Winston in that song in Coffin Dragger, it's been a fucking awesome song.
Mm.
It's been sick.
Mm.
So, the song actually is better when when Winston isn't in it.
But it suits his vocals that bit too and everything. So
That's because he set the vocals for it.
yeah, well, that's true.
So
That's all part of it. Anyway, it's just it's for the same thing. It's like the least impactful song for me
righto.
compared to everything else.
Oh, and what do you rate the whole album out of 10?
Probably an 8. An 8 for me. I love it to bits.
I'd say
Um,
an 8 too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say a 9, just because it's my go-to album.
yeah. No surprises there because my go-to Thy Art is Hate.
Yeah, honestly I go from Holy War, and then I play the end of Dear Desolation quite a bit.
Really,
Yeah, like the last
just the end.
4 songs of Dear Desolation are
weird.
super powerful and super poetic. They have the big sound that I like.
The big sound from the west of the town.
Yeah. They're like, the last 4 songs on that album are like Naked and Cold on repeat almost, but just different versions.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
what
agree.
I really like about that
Final
album.
curtain.
Yeah, like the final curtain. Boom, boom, boom. It's
That-
super grand and like,
such a good.
it's just,
The way it just and it builds up and cuts out right on the climax of the build-up, and it just leaves you going like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And they definitely got a lot of
It is such a
inspiration
finish.
and done a lot of that for their future albums after Holy War from elements of Holy War. Like from elements like Naked and Cold and elements of Violent Reckoning and Emptiness and stuff. And those moments,
Yeah.
they've taken
They
that and
inspired
they've
all
gone,
that.
yep, let's keep using that because that's what our sound is, sort of thing. So I probably would
Yeah.
say Dear Desolation is my go-to for Thy Art. And
Yeah.
I'll probably listen to that album more than I've listened to Holy War. I will pick and choose songs out of Holy War to listen to.
That's
whereas
so cool
Dear
that we
Desolation,
have
Yeah.
different like even the, Puppet Master, funnily enough, which is off Dear Desolation, is my favorite Die Hard song, but Hate is my favorite album.
yeah.
So, and I think it's because that's probably the most hate-like song on that album,
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
except for lyrics.
Probably right.
The lyrics are pretty basic bitch, but I don't care because it's fucking cool.
So I smashed.
Like compared to Hate, Hate's just like super poetic biblical style lyrics, and then Puppet Master's just like, don't say a prayer for me, don't fucking stare at me. It's like,
super sass.
I didn't ask for your help. No judge, no masters. Think for your fucking self. Anyway,
I actually listened to Dear Desolation way more. Hey, like way more.
Interesting. I think
the
it's cool
actual
that-
song,
I
like
think it's
no,
really
the
cool.
actual song from Dear
Oh.
Desolation. I listened to Dear
the
Desolation.
widow
most-
of the world.
Yeah, I reckon that breakdown, and I'll always say it, is fucking one of the most immersive breakdowns that they have out of all their music.
Oh,
For me, I will say for me,
I
I've
highly
found
That's
just
a
some.
hard
highly
thing
disagree.
to pinpoint, dude.
Hey?
Highly disagree.
What do you reckon it is, BK?
What, like out of all their songs, what
Yeah, I
has
mean,
the
that's
most
a hard thing. I
immersive breakdown?
literally can't. I'm not even going to try and... Because I'll say
Oh,
it.
just
and
say
instantly
Light
regret
Bear.
it.
I reckon
Actually, come to think of it, I'd probably say Puppet Master.
That is such a immersive breakdown.
You're very right, it is, but for me individually, Dear
It's not a
Desolation.
breakdown, though.
Dear Desolation. Oh, the twice that they do it after like the first big build up, and then
It's not as impactful live though.
maybe not live, but at least the recording that I listened to Dear Desolation, the single song, the whole album heaps, but the song, I reckon I've listened to that song more times than I've listened to Holy War.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, far out.
You know what I mean? Like that song for me is just like, oh,
Actually, you
I
know
love
what
it.
else
I reckon
is a
it's
really
beautiful.
good breakdown from say Hate is the end of Defective Breed.
So, thanks for listening to episode 2 of the HamBoys podcast. If you want to get in touch or make any suggestions, give us feedback. We would love to hear it. You can email us at hamboyspod@gmail.com. That's HAMBOYSPOD@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at hamboyspod, same spelling. And we have a YouTube channel, HamBoys Podcast. Just look us up and you should be able to find episode 0 and 1 and soon to be more.
And don't forget that first subscriber gets the picture of the cat.
Yeah, literally.
Is that first subscriber on YouTube, or is that first subscriber to
No, it doesn't matter.
to our
First person to bring
Patreon
it
that
to
we
our
haven't
attention.
created yet?
Our OnlyFans.
Tip us $100. We will start an OnlyFans, $100 tip, and you get the picture of the cat.
And we'll even take photos individually and all together with the picture of the cat.
Anyway, yeah, thank you for listening. Anything you want to say, guys?
Thanks for tuning into the HamBoys podcast. We're super excited to have BK here with us today, and I hope he is in for more podcasts with us, as we definitely don't value his opinion. However, he's got a good laugh. So thank you guys so much for listening, if you are listening. And don't forget, reach out to us if you want, and we'll talk to you soon. See you in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.